What's up, guys? Nolan here for our first damage control post from Battlestate Games last night, along with some extra information a couple of us with access to Nikita and BSG have gotten. Apart from Tarkov, we got important Gray Zone Warfare news, including when we'll at least get a date on when it's going to release, and its additions, which is hot in the news right now, like you guys know. We know what the cost of those game additions are going to be, and we know what is going to be in them. Hopefully, forever. And we even got a bit of info around a new Tarkov alternative, which, while on that subject, we'll get back to that in a minute, but first we have to keep the lights on and be sure to thank today's sponsor, Arena Breakout Infinite. The game we've known as Tarkov on mobile devices is making the leap to PC on April 19th. For those out of the loop, Arena Breakout Infinite is an immersive tactical military extraction shooter like you've come to see a lot on this channel. Join a growing, determined community and grind your way to the top with immersive visuals and audio to push through tough battles where the rewards are worth the risk and you decide how far to go. Get in, get the goodies, and get out. But be prepared to fight. There's no handouts in the Dark Zone. If you are already sold, you can sign up for the beta now through the official website linked below, but the slots will be limited, so get in quick if you're interested. Reach the Dark Zone for your chance at the next big drop. Dive into a world with immersive detail from real-time lighting to 360-degree sound effects and lurking threats around every corner that bring every single run to life. Choose your gear and pick your fights, but pick well, because as long as you survive, each raid is a W. Go heavy with armor, ammo, and meds to tank your way through, or stay light on your feet to sneak by. The choice is yours. Arena Breakout Infinite pushes the limits for new extraction first-person combat. Gear up, check your loadout, and check it again. In the Dark Zone, you won't want to be forgetting anything, and every bullet counts. Winning doesn't just mean survival, but also wealth from that loot that you gather. The bigger the stash, the more you can bring next run. But remember, it's also the more you can lose. Modify your favorite pew-pews with a vast yet easy to understand gunsmithing system where you can mix and match over 500 attachments on over 30 different weapon systems to create the perfect tool for the job, or really the fight ahead. In the high-stakes experience of Arena Breakout Infinite, fair competitive play is vigilantly enforced. Anti-cheat measures, in-game reports, and more were made with you, the player, in mind. Check out what Tarkov would look like if it was free to play, reimagined for unique combat, and developed by a different studio. Sign up for free and experience Arena Breakout Infinite for the newest hardcore military first-person extraction shooter on PC today. Thanks again to Arena Breakout Infinite for sponsoring this video and help me keep the lights on between wipes. So starting with Tarkov, we have the first damage control post, and my first impression is they don't actually understand what we're angry about, which makes me even more angry. Being completely honest here, this whole situation does just feel like a bad dream to me. With everything I'm linked into, I just don't understand why this is happening or how. I'm sure that a lot of you guys don't feel that way, but the reason I'm saying it like this from my perspective is because I regularly talk to these guys and have been for years, and if not years, been following them for even more years, for several years. None of this makes sense. It genuinely does not. It's almost like they've swapped the devs out for completely different people. And that's an honest take after, again, been talking to these guys for years, been following for several more. It's like literally different people. I don't understand it, but I digress. We've been telling BSG our view for the last 36 hours now, and they are, for some reason, trying to just push the stuff that we're saying is the worst parts. Their outburst response to Arena Breakout at adding them on Twitter is a good glimpse of their inexperience on this stuff, which it looks like expands to all fronts, and it is a struggle to get past that. If they are stupid enough to post something like that, I'm not surprised they still don't understand what our problem is from a community perspective. It is my perspective, to be clear, and to put it in English there, we want the pay to win to go away, and we want Edge of Darkness to have permanent access to the things that are clearly DLC, but BSG won't acknowledge as DLC. That's the first problem. They are either through bad translation or newfound scumminess trying to explain their way out of this by just calling some of this stuff something that it just is not. The radio and the flare is clearly pay to win microtransactions that should be accessible to every single person who plays the game, and the PvE mode is DLC. EOD should get that forever. Simple as. The rest of the stuff linked to the Unheard Edition is filler that they use to justify the price and is more than any account should have access to on day one of a wipe, period. There is a bit of insight here that I have to share, and I'll remind you guys, I'm trying to stay respectful and professional. Yes, still. So I will not share everything, just what I feel and know is okay to share. After speaking to Nikita and pushing a bit on specific points, and actually I need to go, pushing a bit is not even a good way of doing that. As I'm reading my own script here, we have been pushing hard. We've been specifically going back and forth quite a lot. So we are pushing. We are trying to get through to him. And like I said, it's genuinely like talking to a new person. I don't know why. And I'll go in circles if I keep talking about this. I did my rant yesterday. I need to move past this. It is just completely, just utterly confusing to me what the hell is happening here. But again, I digress. We have been pushing on specific points of the new edition and the DLC. He is at least telling us that the server infrastructure of the PvE mode is the reason why they are breaking it up the way that they have. So it's possible that they're just BSG doing BSG things and messing up exactly how to release a certain new thing, or at least having a very bad solution for a way of releasing a new thing, because he said that they cannot technologically allow all EOD to have access to the PvE mode at this time, and that they're working on a solution. I will say that seems logical. Whether that's just logical because they wanted to make something up to make it sound logical, or it actually is logical. To me, that does make sense, because if you look at people that are playing, they're still waiting to get into the game. They're still matching. It does seem like there is some server issues that is still happening there. So I can understand that. I'll put it that way. I can at least understand that. Whether that is real or not, we'll wait and see. We are pushing our opinions on how to break up the new edition so more people have access to the microtransactions in it. And I think we are making some progress for real. I just don't know how long it will take. It is my opinion that we shouldn't buy this new edition. We shouldn't support it. And the reason why is because if they were able to cook this up on their own, because they did not mention any of the specifics, they just said a new edition was coming, and they seem to just be completely okay with the things that are in this, even though if they literally asked a single emissary, a single Discord mod, a single community member, anybody would have told them, don't do that. That is the wrong way to go. So they need to have their hands held on this side of stuff. So if they were able to come up with that on their own, I wouldn't put it past them to come up with another edition at release with even worse stuff, if we let them get away with this. So we can't let them get away with it simply because they seem to think there's nothing wrong with this and we are still overreacting. So they'll just do it again unless we actually prove to them that this is wrong. The PvE mode doesn't even work. Well, it still has the same bugs as the base game, and because of who they've built it, or how they've built it, I mean, you still need to wait for matching for some reason, making loading times take up to 5+ minutes still. As I mentioned before, I will still be covering what happens so that you guys know what's up, and we'll see what they do next. On that subject of Arena Breakout Infinite from before, I will have keys to give away, and I'll be checking it out when it becomes available. But until then, you know the deal. If you were listening earlier, it'll be free to play, and it's clearly so close to Tarkov that BSG got offended and felt the need to outburst about it on social media. So more to come on that one there. Next bit is about Gray Zone Warfare. I'm curious what you guys think of the game's current status as you've seen it so far, because the views on the channel were really bad. You guys, from my perspective, don't seem to give a shit about Gray Zone, when personally I loved it. I ended that test of just 6 days with 90 hours played. I genuinely loved it. So I don't think most of you are interested in it, and I would really like your takes. There was a round table today where the lead dev answered a lot of questions and told us we will know when the game goes into early access on Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern. He added later that we will be happy about it, so that goes along with what I was saying on stream whenever anybody asked, that I thought it would be available to everybody soon. I thought it was going to be soon, and it again sounds like it will be soon, and we're going to find out on Monday. Gray Zone was already and still is planning to release with a PvE and a PvP mode from the get-go. So you can choose whether to have PvP activated on the servers that you're playing on or not. They also announced the game packages, which I'm sure they were a little scared to do at a time like this, but don't worry, they did the OG Tarkov way, and the most, I guess, troublesome thing to worry about here is the secure container and the specific gear that we will get, because there were larger secure containers that you're going to get immediately, and in terms of the gear, they just said assault rifle magazine, bandages. For those that don't know, there's a few different assault rifles. There's a few different bandages, depending on, I mean, hell, even bandages. Of course, ammunition, assault rifle ammunition. It could be a lot. There's a lot of variety there to mean like this is either the best stuff in the game that you are going to have no problem using, and it's just going to catapult you through the rest of the game from the get-go, because you can go to a point of interest like Fort Nerith or Tiger Bay and just multiply all of that gear that you have. We'll see. We'll see what that gear actually is. They just, like I said, and I'll have the lists up on the screen. They're just calling them assault rifles. They're calling them assault rifle ammunition. They're calling it armor without saying the specifics. So depends on what those specifics are, but we'll get to that here now. The standard edition at $35 with a 250 square stash, a 2x2 secure container, 10 grand starting cash, along with a spattering of all essentials, which looks to specifically be enough for 2 deaths or 2 full gear loadouts. Then you're on your own. It is my genuine, honest opinion that at $35, if you are a fan of Escape from Tarkov, if you are a fan of Arma, no matter what you think of either, no matter like what your specific fandom is for both of those games, if you simply like Escape from Tarkov, if you simply like Arma, that is a must buy. I'm not kidding. And I was saying that before. You guys can go back in my VODs. You guys that were watching me, you know I've been saying that. If it was around the $30 mark, it's a must buy for that criteria of gamer. And that was days before all this Tarkov stuff happened. That's not because of the Tarkov stuff happening. That's my genuine opinion. If you like Escape from Tarkov and if you like Arma at $35, it is my opinion that is a must buy. You guys should go try this out when it becomes available, period. Now the tactical edition is $60 and comes with an extra 100 stash squares, an extra 5 grand, and basically 1 extra kit, which I assume is a bit higher tier than the standard, but it's not specified to be clear. Same goes for the gear too. It could be a bit better, but they didn't say. The Elite edition is $80 and comes with a bigger secure container now with a 3x2, an extra 100 stash squares now up to 450, an extra 5 grand, and again an extra kit, and again most likely a better quality one than the ones before it, but they were not specific. Then last but not least, the supporter edition at $100, coming with in-game shirts, gloves, a special name and badge. Then you guessed it, a bigger secure container now at 3x3, more stash space now at 600 squares, and another kit again likely better than the ones before. So in total, that's 5 kits, 600 square inventory, a 3x3 stash, or 3x3 secure container, I mean. No extra trader rep. It's just cash that you can spend on the traders, which if you buy from the traders, that gains them a little bit of rep as of the previous test. I don't know if that's still going to be a thing on release. But while we're on that subject, that's all I got for now, because there was a bit of a, like I said, round table. The lead dev was answering a lot of questions. We're going to leave that for tomorrow, as I do have access to those devs. I'm going to ask them some more questions and see if I can get some better answers on that stuff. None of it is necessarily final. It's all like planned stuff anyway. It's not like time sensitive. Really only the time sensitive thing is like, hey, Monday we're going to find out when this releases, and now we know how much the game is going to cost and what's going to come with that cost. In terms of the other stuff, we'll see what BSG does here. Like I've been saying, if they make some changes, I will cover it. But for everything else, with that and everything else, please let me know what you guys think. I do need it. I need your feedback on this stuff. I want to know what you're thinking on this stuff. But that's going to do it for today, guys. To support what I do, click the buttons on the screen and come by a stream. Check out my other channels for other games right here, like Star Citizen, Astronaut Creation, and Broken Arrow. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.